Hello Pisces, this is your reading for 2018. This is going to be a big reading, 21 cards. So give me just a few more seconds. I have the Empress, Three of Swords, Four of Wands, the Shadow Side, the Star, Five of Wands, and then Three of Wands. Okay, next row. I have a Six of Swords. I have the Moon. I have the Chariot. I have the Queen of Pentacles. I have a Page of Pentacles. This is Nine of Pentacles. Lots of pentacles in a row. This is Eight of Cups. I have a King of Cups. Eight of Pentacles. I have Knight of Wands. I have Ten of Pentacles. I have Four of Swords. This is Seven of Cups. Ace of Swords. Okay, so I hope you can remember kind of when I hope you can remember all the introductions to these cards. I'm interpreting these cards on several levels. This is called the Grand Romany spread. And this type of spread gets really specific. And I'm only adjusting my reading in that usually this row is the past. This row right here would be the present. And then this row right here would be the future. But I'm choosing to read these three rows simply as your year progresses. Okay, from beginning of the year to the end of the year. Also, each column here, we have 7 columns. Each column here represents a particular inquiry. This first column here, this addressed things in your home life. This column here pertains directly to you. The second column. This third column addresses influences from friends and family, or lovers, or a romantic interest. This fourth row is an answer to whether you will get what you want this year. Will your if you have a question, if you have a question for this reading, this row, this fourth row, this fourth column right here answers whether that wish will be granted. This fifth column is about what is not expected but might happen. This sixth row is what you want to happen but may not. And then this last row, this seventh row, details exactly what will happen. Okay? It's going to come true. As much as possible, as I do this reading, I will also look at the energies of the major arcana and the elements. And I will also look at if dates come to me as I do this reading. I will definitely give months or specific days or dates that just stick out in my mind. Keep in mind, this is a general reading, and there are millions of you Pisces people. So keep in mind, this is not going to be exactly tailored to everyone's situation, but it just gives general ebbs and flows in your life. Okay? So as much as possible, I will try to bring these cards together as they've come out in a way that will resonate with you in some way. Okay? So, having said that, first impressions of your spread, Pisces. Not a lot of swords. Well, actually, out of this 21 cards, you do have a 3 of swords and a 6 of swords and a 4 of swords and an ace of swords at particular points in your spread throughout the year. There will still be issues of pain and heartbreak, especially seeing that this 3 of swords is early on. And I think there might not be a lot of swords. There are plenty of pentacles. Even though there are few swords here, I feel like they are an important undercurrent in your struggle as far as healing. And it's not going to be prominent throughout in 2018 for you. But based on my first impressions, yeah, I was looking at all these pentacles spelling out, and I'm like, wow, where are the swords? I'm not getting a bunch of swords. And I feel like maybe in your spread, Pisces, there's a lack of swords, not just because you will never, because swords represent communication and judgment, the psychological energy, the way we perceive reality, all of that. I feel like it's still going to be relevant at particular points. They're going to be touching points as far as you healing and being happy and taking control over your life. Because I've always felt, Pisces, that out of all the astrological signs, you're the most psychic, you're the most hypersensitive, you feel so much. And so, yeah, I definitely feel that, yeah, there aren't a lot of swords, but when they do show up, I kind of feel they're going to be quite relevant throughout the year in your life. Big marking points as far as certain decisions you're going to make and your own inner peace and harmony. And some of these wounds that some of you Pisces people are bringing into 2018, especially if 2017 has been a rough year for you. Okay, so just in general energy as I go throughout the year. We start off here with this Empress in reverse, and then heartache. And some of you Pisces people might actually be having a really big argument at the beginning of the year, a big falling out. Okay. And one thing I also notice here in this first row as we start the year off, lots of wands here. And this could be the energy for some of you with a partner or love life. But definitely as we get here, big falling out, And then I have this Four of Wands here, the card of celebration and partying. And then I have a shadow side, and then I have a star, and then I get more of this conflict, Five of Wands, and then there's a Three of Wands. And so as we progress throughout the beginning of the year, I feel as if you are struggling with certain relationships, certain battles and conflicts that you're trying to get past. Because it's interesting that you have these major arcana cards as well. Three major arcana cards in this row. This Empress in reverse is a card of a woman having relationship issues. Okay, sometimes when the Empress is in reverse, you do get a sense of, you know, she's the goddess of the material world. She's attractive. Usually someone's in love with her. She represents a woman of interest. And she's confident and she loves herself. She's all about love. And she's also about happy family life and pregnancy. So when I see this in reverse, I do get issues of problems in the home, domestic problems, relationship problems. And this is quickly followed by the Three of Swords. Now, this balance between the Four of Swords and then the shadow side and then the star and then Five of Wands and then Three of Wands. So when I get this turbulence here, the celebration of Four of Wands and then these heavy hitting major arcana cards come with the shadow side, which is dysfunction, overcoming an addiction, overcoming a negative power. And then I have the star. I feel like some of you Pisces people coming through this, starting from this Empress in reverse, coming through the star, some of you are struggling with your old demons. Some of you are struggling with your old relationship issues. And I kind of get this surge, and this usually happens at the beginning of the year for a number of people. It's a new start, it's a new beginning. I kind of feel that when the shadow side is followed by the star, I get a sense of you pulling yourself up and not being willing to be defeated. So that's when we have this conflict, this confrontation with the Five of Wands. That in the beginning of the year, you're going to be dealing with a big setback. But I feel that this big setback, for some of you it might be a big relationship issue, you're going to get through that Five of Wands and you're finally going to end up with a Three of Wands. Okay? You're going to be working out conflicts in your family life, in your home life. You're going to be working through those big setbacks. The big struggle comes with this shadow side right in the middle. You're fighting back against this negative energy. And it could very well, for some of you Pisces people, be something that's coming from someone else. Okay? But I think the biggest struggle for you, Pisces people, is emotionally becoming strong. And that's why I feel like the star is very prominent here. Because the star is like, you're going to be positive no matter what. You're going to see your way through this. So then it's followed by that Five of Wands, facing conflict, the petty arguments. But then this Three of Wands, the card of expectations and success, follows. So if for some of you Pisces, and usually when I do readings for you month to month Pisces, I notice that fire seems to be quite prominent for some of you. And some of you might actually be attached to someone with fire. It feels as if you get it together here when this Five of Wands is followed by the Three of Wands. Now, some of you could be having these conflicts and struggles with a particular person. especially someone with fire energy, and someone with fire energy who wants to have their way. So when I try to look at what's going on here with the wands, this person who, the Four of Wands is power and celebration and getting what you want as well. It can also mean surprises, weddings, engagements. But this Four of Wands is sort of this liberating energy here. This person who wants to be free, for some of you dealing with another person who is doing this power play over you. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the context of this Four of Wands being adjacent to both the shadow side and this Three of Swords, that this person's victory seems to be coming at a cost of hurting you. And so that's when I see you standing up for yourself. I see you fighting back here. Okay, and so this person has this Three of Wands, this energy of a future, this energy of planning and having expectations. So on the relationship tip, from a relationship point of view, and I'm not always going to just give relationship interpretations here, but I do see you Pisces, some of you Pisces people who have partners, I do see this as you trying to work out very big setbacks in the relationship from the beginning of the year. Will this actually work out? Things were going so well, and then someone just had to screw up. That's the type of struggle that I'm feeling here. Okay? And so whatever's going on with this Wands energy in general, I do kind of feel like there's someone that, you know, and it doesn't have to be this major catastrophe or big drama, but on a lower, a more subtle interpretation, some of you might actually be dealing with marriage issues or divorce and trying to get through those issues as well, as far as getting things back on track, living your life, readjusting your life. So that's what I'm seeing here in this first row. Now, as we get into the second row, here's the swords showing up again. And the interesting thing here is that you have all of these pentacles. And as you know, pentacles refer to our lived life, our material life, our homes, and where we live, and who we live with, and our money and our career. So for some of you, big jump in career moves. And some of you have been trying to change your careers, trying to, 2017, some of you discovered, I'm not happy where I'm working right now. I need to branch out. So it's pretty interesting that the second row begins with the Six of Swords, which is a traveling card. Getting from a new place, moving from one place to the other, actual travel by water. And I love this card for a number of reasons, because the Six of Swords has not just swords, but it travels over water. And it has a wand. This person is taking their wand of intent. Wands represent motivation, and wands represent your will and your vision and acting on that vision. So interesting that I feel like this whole row is leading up to some of you Pisces people starting to make a decision and act on certain things that you've learned in the early part of the year. And also, the second row ends with this Eight of Cups. And this is also the card of traveling. It's about emotionally moving on. And as you know, cups represent water, and your element is water, Pisces. And so you are making big shifts. You're going to sort of go for it here. You are envisioning with the energy of the star, you guys are starting to have so much more self-realization. You're looking back at where you've come from and where you want to go. And that's because, once again, we have the moon, which is a card of fears and doubts and being afraid, okay? Which is expected here. But the interesting thing about the moon, sometimes it's a warning sign. Sometimes the moon is sort of like listen to your subconscious, but it can also represent a heightening of your powers to detect something's happening. I need to be aware of what's going on. Now, after this moon, this is very significant. You have the Chariot. And so keep in mind, what's interesting here, Pisces, is that the moon is associated with Pisces. It is associated with the unconscious, because Pisces, you guys are the subconscious people here. The unconscious and subconscious. You're very psychic. So I do feel like this moon is speaking directly to you, Pisces people. And when it is followed by the Chariot, which is usually associated, I believe it's associated with Gemini. And so this is the card that is about two forces joining together. I feel like it's not necessarily you joining forces with someone, but this is you uniting within yourself and having the willpower and the fearlessness to move forward. And by the way, this is actually associated with Cancer, not necessarily Gemini, even though it does take place in the air. So this is also associated with another water sign. But note how you have those moons in both cards. Okay. You have sort of like a quarter moon here, quarter moon here. And that's very significant because water signs are usually, like I said, especially Pisces, very psychic, very emotional. And so when you have these moons showing up right after the other in major arcana cards, this is about you following your gut, your long lost dreams that you're recovering. So the Six of Swords, it's followed by the moons, the moon, major arcana, and then the Chariot, which also has a half moon. So Pisces, a lot of strong psychic energy coming through. You're listening to your intuition. There are things that are going to seem coincidental. They are not coincidental. Also keep in mind, for this Eight of Cups, there's also a moon here and stars. Remember, you had a star, and note how there are 8 stars here. 8 stars here. So this combination of moon and stars for you, Pisces, is significant. Because it is a star of, the stars are about hope and realizing your dreams. And the moon is you drawing on your inner power of psychic abilities and your vision and your emotional joy and optimism. Okay, and so Pisces, use that power as you head into the middle part of the year. Now, with all of this subconscious and water energy along with the swords, you do get a lot of stability here with the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of your castle here. And then you have a Page of Pentacles, solving problems, being willing to go into new areas of your life, pushing the boundaries. And then this Nine of Pentacles, where you find a way to realize your prosperity and your dreams. But here we have an Eight of Cups, where you make an emotional decision as well. with the moon and the stars, that your hope combined with your intuition. You are making an important decision in your life. You are deciding, you know, there's some people I need to leave behind. I like this new life I've built for myself, and I want to pursue it. You know, I feel like this is going to be a big year of transitions for you, um, especially if some of you are pursuing school or retraining for a new job or looking for a new job. Big, big transformations. So you begin with Six of Swords, which is traveling. Then you end up with that Eight of Cups, which is the card of leaving things behind, emotionally being independent and saying, you know what, I don't need you. I'm going to a better place here. So I feel that you start to get to that good place with Six of Swords. You like where you are. The Chariot, so much movement, so much power. You're driven, actually. This new energy of being driven because you have all these wonderful pentacles of prosperity and happiness there. And so Eight of Cups, your material world is coming together. But by the time you get to this Eight of Cups, yes, it might be necessary to make some choices here. You know, whether it's letting go of a relationship, you finally healing from a relationship. You know, maybe some of you might decide to go it alone because it might be the best thing for you. So very exciting right here. As we head towards the end of the year, we have your King of Cups. The King of Cups is calm, cool, and collected. King of Cups, obviously kings have authority. They have mastery. And kings are sort of the active card. Queens are passive. Kings, they're able to have that emotional harmony within themselves. And it's a great energy to have, especially for you water signs, because it means you have emotional balance, that you have self-esteem and you have a belief in yourself. And you're able to direct your psychic energy as well, that you're able to focus on what is at hand. You have that perfect combination of feelings and emotion, but able to see clearly things for what they are emotionally and not let your emotions get out of control. Keep in mind, the King of Cups can also be sometimes the King of Cups, simply because he's cups doesn't mean it's all about outward shows of emotion. The King of Cups relies on feelings diligently. And keep in mind, kings can apply to men or women. So this liberation from the Eight of Cups as we head into the King of Cups, Pisces, emotionally, not only do you feel stronger, but you are not going to let yourself ever get to where you were with that Empress in reverse and that Three of Swords. Okay, the things that you started to hope for and realize with the star early in the year, you are definitely going to go forward with a new vision for yourself. And sometimes, especially if you're a water sign, it's easy to fall apart emotionally. And as I said, Pisces, you're very hypersensitive, very hyper aware. You can feel what other people are feeling. You can sense if something's about to go wrong. And you're going to be able to use that special power that you have, that special energy, to your advantage. So we get some more pentacles here because now you have that Eight of Pentacles going to work, working on a project. For some of you, it could actually mean a new job. Then we have this interesting energy with the wands showing up. Now you had no wands at all here in the second row, but wands do make one more appearance here as we head into the end of the year. And it could be, once again, that person of interest here, this person of interest who's still a part of your lives, for those of you in partnerships. But keep in mind, nights are about change. Nights are about transformation and going into battle and going into war to act, to conquer, to move into new territories. So lots of motivation and inspiration here with the Knight of Wands. And then you have that 10 of Pentacles, which is the pinnacle. Tens are the number of endings and new beginnings. So now you have a 10 of Pentacles that brings you prosperity and happiness. You've reached your goal in the material world. And once again, I still feel like for some of you Pisces people, there are career goals and financial goals that you're working towards. And I've noticed that the pentacles that did show up for you are pentacles near the end, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, and then you've got this Queen of Pentacles and Page of Pentacles working for you as far as receiving information. And, you know, the Queen of Pentacles is all about a happy home and that inner stability and that practical nature that most Pentacles energy have. So these Pentacles are really coming through for you as far as reaching your goals and achieving prosperity, getting your home together. That's definitely going to be happening for you. And in most cases for you Pisces people, I feel like that's going to be dominating. That's going to be the dominating issue for you in 2018. Some of you might be getting over this love stuff. Relationships might actually be taking a back seat for some of you. But in a way, also the Queen of Pentacles is a daughter of the Empress. And so the Empress started off being reversed in the beginning of the year. But I also feel like this Queen of Pentacles is coming to sort of say, you're going to get your groove back. You're not going to be this depressed woman who's being neglected and hurt and dealing with pain. Okay, so yes, these pentacles are indicating 8, 9, and 10 that as far as financial prosperity and things going on in your career and things going on in your practical life with your home and family, that those issues are going to be resolved. You're going to reach your goals. Okay, so then we have that Four of Swords here, which means taking a rest or a retreat. And I almost feel as if it's something that's needed, like I've achieved everything I've wanted to have, so I'm just going to pull back. I also feel like because this Four of Swords is followed by a Seven of Cups, cups of course being water, your element, I feel like what's going on here is that big decisions that are coming with this 10 of Pentacles as a new cycle of prosperity and career comes your way. I think, you know, it seems to make sense that after you reach this new pinnacle, you take a break, you retreat, and you think about the direction you want your life to go in, because guess what? Now you have a Seven of Cups. And this Seven of Cups is all about making choices. You've pushed and struggled for so long. You've had to heal. You've had to push through conflict, a lot of fire. And then you get to pick and choose what you want here. And so this is leading up to the last card, this Ace of Swords. Clarity and truth. You know that song, I Can See Clearly Now? The rain is gone. That's what I think of when I see the Ace of Swords here. Success And once again, a combination of your mental and psychic abilities coming together here. You can see everything. You've learned to be stronger. You're more self-assured. You've battled demons here. You've battled incredible heartache. For some of you, really bad situations in relationships, heartbroken, someone walking away from you. Ace of Swords, coming at the end of your year, you see things for what they are. You gain enlightenment. And that's how I see that process for you. A steady journey to enlightenment and looking within yourself and saying, you know what, I'm over this. I will be fine. But I also just get a sense that a lot of you Pisces people have dreams and hopes. You know, maybe at the beginning of the year, some of you were thinking there has to be something better than this, and I want to find it. So that's certainly going to be the case here. I do feel like these pentacles here are sort of anchoring your reading and giving me a sense of the things that you're working towards in life here. A happy home for some of you, a happy career. And it seems as if some of you are doing battle with the wands as well. You know, these wands come in and sometimes they bring a little chaos because they do represent fire. So remember what I said about these columns. Now this first column is your home. So, you know, yes, you start off with relationship issues with the Empress. We do some traveling, maybe emotional healing. We end up with that King of Cups, emotional stability and harmony. Then directly to you, once again, heartache and fears. Three of Swords going into the Moon. And then we throw ourselves into work here. You're focused on work. You are making new decisions. You're making a plan. Okay? So that column is directly applying to you. When we get here to your friends and your families and your partners or your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, I get a sense of stop and start here because we start here with this Four of Pentacles. I mean, this Four of Wands. Someone might not be taking things as seriously as they should. Then we have a Chariot where people are, remember what I said about this Chariot, I kind of see it as you moving on. Sometimes the Chariot is about two people working together for a common goal. This is definitely the card of success. This is definitely the card of harmony and balance that sort of helps people move forward. But keep in mind, I kind of feel like these wands, when they show up, are a little bit disruptive here because then we get to that Knight of Wands. So for some of you in these topsy-turvy relationships, I feel that, you know, the Chariot here is about really trying to work things out. And then we get to a Knight of Wands. For some of you, this could be someone, a new person also coming into your life. But this is definitely someone who is sticking around, someone who's going to be coming to you, someone who, sometimes the Knight of Wands is a card of loyalty, especially someone who does have that fire energy. So, this row right here, will your wish be granted? Well, it looks that way because you go from the shadow side, conquering a negative energy, conquering your demons. Then you go to a Queen of Pentacles here. And then you go to a Ten of Pentacles, which is the ultimate happiness with your home and your finances here. So for some of you, it could even mean marriage, but it definitely seems that some of you will reach a better turn of luck, so to speak, as far as your home lives. If finances and your home and your job have been up in the air, I feel like for some of you, it will finally just come together. Okay? These are things that are unexpected that might happen. You don't expect them, but they will happen, or tend to happen. So there's a possibility this Four of Swords, a break. You have the Star, which is about being positive, and then, you know, these hopes and dreams. The Page of Pentacles comes along to help you do this problem solving, slowing down a little bit, because Pentacles are a slow energy, and getting to work on, you know, looking at a particular problem, especially for some of you with money issues. And the Four of Swords might indicate for some of you an unintended break, especially around summertime. I kind of feel like summertime things are coming to a head for some of you, and usually summer is vacation time. But I also get a sense that heading into August, some of you are going to take an extended break. You're probably going to put a few things down and say, I'll have to put this aside for later and come back to it. When we look at things that you hope to happen but might not, remember the Seven of Cups. This is the card where you are in control. You're the one who can make the decisions. We come from this Five of Wands of conflict heading into a Nine of Pentacles, which is prosperity, happiness, the good life, lots of good times, so to speak. And so the Seven of Cups, especially since cups represents water, this is about you wanting to call the shots, have more opportunities, have more options. That might not happen. But here's the wonderful thing about things that will probably happen. This Wands energy, a future with someone, a future that you want to have happen. You might need to walk away and find the strength to walk away. This could be an important decision for some of you Pisces people. But we end up with that Ace of Swords. You will have clarity. You will have truth. There will be a resolution, but definitely success. Aces are always wonderful yes cards. And the interesting thing, I don't see any other aces. This Ace of Swords, you know, the clarity and, you know, it's sort of like the checkmate card. Sometimes I feel swords are very intellectual, lots of thinking things through. But I feel like this Ace of Swords for you, Pisces, is about realization of your dreams, not just wishing and hoping and daydreaming. And like I said, most water signs can get caught up in the idealism of what they want in life, the perfect career, I'm going to be a model or whatever, or that perfect, you know, you are definitely the dreamers here. But you have that Ace of Swords, which kind of is a realization that you've put those dreams into action and you've worked hard and you're tired of going through the same cycles as demonstrated by the shadow side. So this Ace of Swords as your final realization is going to be a realization of happiness. You've come around a corner. You've turned a corner, Pisces, and you will never ever go back. That's how I feel the situation for some of you. That emotionally you've been beat up, your dreams, you know, it always feels like, especially since some of you have dreams attached to someone special, it feels like some of you have been disappointed so much. And this is what I was talking about when I feel like the swords are still telling a relevant story for you, even though there are only like 4 of them. That once we get from the heartache of the 3 of Swords, and then you go to traveling and healing with the 6 of Swords, and then there's a break, you know, there's a pulling back. For some of you it might even be retreating and just saying, I'm not going to try to control the situation, I'm just stepping back. I feel like this Ace of Swords is you've healed, you're better than ever, you're stronger than ever. And once again, as I said, I feel like a lot of you by the end of next year will have turned a corner in your life, where you're much more powerful. You're going to look back and say, I can't believe that this is where I was, and I feel better for it. I'm glad I took the risk. I'm glad that the Eight of Cups, I'm glad I made that decision with Eight of Cups to walk away. I'm glad I took a risk on myself because I never thought I could do this. So lots of an amazing transformation for you, Pisces. The beginning of the year for you might be a little rough. Minor skirmishes with relationships. Um, a little rejection for some of you. But this is all part of a journey and a process, especially with the Pentacles helping you out, which will bring you to that Ace of Swords. So there you go. That's 2018 for you, Pisces. And so I hope you've enjoyed this video. I want to wish you happy holidays. Always be optimistic. Remember, the tarot is not about dictating your life. This is about you taking control over your life. Many people say, oh, my year is going to be bad. Look at what the cards said. But the cards can only reflect the energy that you bring to your life. I always interpret these cards from the point of view that you have control. You can do and be anything that you want. Okay? And so there is potential here. So just take that in mind. Always be optimistic. No matter what these cards say, they're only to guide you and give you insight about the bigger picture. So thank you so much. And of course, I look forward to the new year with you, Pisces. I wish you love and light, and I'll see you on YouTube in 2018.